Remember, 0.5 was our rule of thumb. If it's higher than 0.5, it's sour. If it's lower than 0.5, it's sweet. So it's sweet crude. And it has 0.07. That means it will not. It has very little, naphthenic acid to corrode equipment. So the rule of thumb, if it's less than 0.5, it's good. And this 0.07. So it's good in many ways. That's why it's worth $55, $60 a barrel compared to some other crudes that are worth less, like light Arabian, for example, or heavy Arabian. So they come up with a statistical model, and they tested it and all that, and they published an article saying that we can discount the API difference between any crude in the world and Brent and use $0.007 per unit of difference to account for the difference in API. And similar thing, you can take any crude in the world and compare it with Brent and find the difference between them, and they say that is worth $0.056 per unit per barrel of Brent price. So in other words, no matter what you use here, if this was 60 or 65 or 40, you should be able to come up with a discounted value for the crude if it has worse properties. And this has worse properties. And finally, you use this number for the difference between this and not 0.07 in this case, but 0.5, because 0.5 is the, I put 0.5 times degree base value, is the base. In other words, if this crude had 0.5 tan, I will get 0 discount for it. You know what I mean? In other words, and here I take the difference between 8.6 and 38. I take the difference between 4.8 and 0.37. But in here I take the difference between 3 and 0.5, 2.5. Not the full difference. I give some credit, in other words, here. But in any case, that's not a big point. The point is that these are the values that they come up with for the differences. And when you calculate it, that means this crude here, based on API, is worth $11.4 per barrel, less than the Brent. And it's worth 13.6 on the basis of sulfur, and it's worth $7 on the basis of API. So you add up all these differences and subtract it from 55, you get 23. That's how you arrive at 23. In other words, if I were to buy, somebody tells me, do you want to buy Brent at 55, or you want to buy this heavy oil at 23, I say it's the same to me, because this is worth 23 based on value. Okay? Yes?
Does that mean that the value of the product that you get is worth the same then?
It's the same rule applies for the product, yes. That's what I did. Is that what your question is?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Okay. So this fixes the price. We have only one feed, which is the Athabasca heavy oil. So I have one calculation to make. For the products, I think what Ray is talking about is the same approach. After all, I'm producing another crude. It's called synthetic crude, right? The properties will be better than this. Otherwise, why am I upgrading it? So if this was 20, for example, by the way, 20 is what you shoot in API of 20 is considered a good number to shoot for to get it pumped with little or no diluents, okay? And if the number is 20 for the upgraded synthetic, we'll see in a minute, then the difference will be 38.3 minus 20 times this number again. So the discount will be less. So, and so on. So instead of 20,